Hello, 5th graders. Welcome to Lesson 9.2, Volume Introduction. Let's get started. Today's objective is I can calculate the volume of rectangular prisms by using unit cubes and counting strategies with 100% accuracy in multiple attempts. Please pause to write the I can and by statements in your digital math notebook now. Today's lesson also has one vocabulary word. Our vocabulary word is the word cubic unit. A cubic unit is the unit that we use to measure volume. It is cubed because it includes 3 dimensions: length, width, and height. Please pause to type the vocabulary in your digital math notebook. All right, friends, today we're going to dive into volume. Volume is the amount of 3-dimensional space that a shape contains. We've talked about area and perimeter before, but when we talk about volume, we're not just talking about a flat shape. We're talking about a 3-dimensional amount of space. It includes length and width and height. So if we look at this example here, this is a rectangular prism. And this rectangular prism is made up of little cubes. We can call those cubes unit cubes. And we think of cubes because we're thinking of length, width, and height. So if we were to try to figure out the volume of this 3-dimensional shape, we could count each cube. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, but look, if I count this one, I've already counted that cube. But if I look back here, I haven't counted these cubes. So it's a little bit difficult to actually just count volume. That's why we use some formulas. But today we're going to look at some simple shapes like this, where we can count easily. When we are counting cubes, we want to make sure that we count the hidden cubes. That means the cubes all the way in the back. And we also want to count the rows. So you can see that I have 1, 2, 3 rows. And I have 3 this way. So I could say that this is 3 times 9, which would give me 27 cubes, which is a little bit hard to count. So let's try it on some simpler shapes. In this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have 3 rows. So I could call this 6 times 3 and get 18. In my next picture, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of that. So I could call that 20. So you can see it's very similar so far to finding area because I'm finding a length and a width. Oh, but now in number 3, I have a length, a width, and a height. I have a stack here. So my length is 1, 2, 3, 4. My width is 2, and my height is 2. So I can't just count one layer, I have to count 2 layers. So my bottom layer, if I just counted the bottom, would be 8. And then if I had 2 of those, that would give me 16. Let's keep going and try some together. All right, friends, we are back in your digital math notebook. Make sure that you're typing in the answers as we complete them together. In our first example, this one's really quite easy to count. You can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 cubes. And I can call them cubic units because they have length and width and height. They have 3 dimensions. In my next shape, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 again. In my third shape, you can see that I have 1, 2, 3. This one's kind of tricky because this one's floating on top. But if it's floating on top, there has to be one underneath here. So this would be 3 plus 1 in the back is 4 plus the 1 on top is 5. On my fourth shape, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My next shape is just one layer. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cubes all lined up. And in my last shape, I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Pretty easy when we're just counting volume. But as you can see from this one, it's a little bit tricky when there's cubes that we can't see, but we know have to be there. Let's try another problem together. All right, friends, time for our lesson activity. In our lesson activity today, we are looking at 2 shapes with unit cubes, and then we also need to use our inequality symbols to say which one is greater than or less than. So let's start off by counting. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this side, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. So I know that 6 is greater than 4. Pretty easy so far, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this side. That means that it is your job to fill in the inequality symbol here to compare them. All right, 5th graders, you're almost finished. When you feel comfortable with today's lesson, complete your exit slip and make sure your digital notes are completed as well. Great job!